Welcome, what is up? Thank you for tuning back into the Chaos Lair. Of course, I'm Chris Chaos here with Chaos Predicts NXT Takeover Orlando. Now, NXT is something that is very near and dear to my heart. As we all know, that is where the future stars of our industry, not just WWE, are being made. That and guys that have been on the scene for years that's finally getting their big break. Bobby Roode, Shinsuke, Eric Young, Roderick Strong, the list goes on and on. But I don't talk about it a whole lot. Kind of like with Ring of Honor. It's something I hold very near and dear. I try to put it over as I can, but I don't really go in and nitpick all of it. But I thought it would just be fun that for Takeover, let's talk about it. And by the way, I want to remind everybody, the new podcast, Wrestling with Chaos, is available. Podcast 1, number 1, not podcast 1, not the website. The podcast number 1 is talking about the Hall of Fame. Podcast 2, I am going to record here in a little bit, probably. I'm going to go over what I think about NXT, what I think about going forward past this takeover, and who I think needs to go ahead and go to the main roster. But as for now, it's Chaos Predicts. There are 5 matches, which is kind of sad when you think about it. But anyway, there are 5 matches. The 10-man tag match is, or the 8-person tag match is taking up a lot of real estate, so that's probably why there are only 5 this time instead of 6. But it is what it is. So why don't I just start off by talking about the first match: Sanity versus Ty Dillinger, Roderick Strong, No Way Jose, and the newly minted Ruby Riott, aka Heidi Lovelace. I am so glad that they brought Heidi in and just put her right in the mix with something. It is awesome. I can't wait to see what happens after Takeover going forward into the next Takeover, which should be in June, I think, the first part of June. It's usually when they do it. I see Sanity taking the loss here because Eric Young has been so dominant. It feels to me like Ty Dillinger needs that big win. I feel like they're going to put Ty Dillinger on SmackDown sooner rather than later, and this is going to be a big way for him to go over. I see him going over on Eric Young being the piece de resistance, if you will. I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think that would be the best thing to happen, but I don't see it happening. Ty Dillinger probably gets the win, but it probably won't be over Eric Young. The tag team titles, Authors of Pain versus DIY versus The Revival. I see The Revival coming up as well after WrestleMania. I see them going to Raw. I see DIY probably sticking around just a little bit. I figure what will end up happening eventually is they will break up and go in, not like a big angle probably with these two guys, but they'll break up, they'll break off, and they'll go to 205 Live, which means they'll be on Raw. But they'll be on 205 Live, and that's where they'll stay. I see the Authors of Pain retaining here. They just won the titles. There's no reason to take them off yet. But it would be compelling TV to see the Revival win for the 3rd time and be NXT champions and go to Raw with the belts. That would be kind of compelling. But I don't like this whole changing the belts every takeover, because they changed them in Toronto and then they changed them again in San Antonio. I don't want to see another change here. I want to see the Authors of Pain continue their dominance. Andrade Cien Almas versus Aleister Black. I haven't done my research. For the first time ever, I haven't done my research. And I don't know anything about Aleister Black. I would rather just experience it. Well, I take that back. I'll probably look into him before Takeover on Saturday. But as of right now, I'm going to just kind of sit back and just kind of enjoy it. Aleister Black gets the win here in his debut. The NXT Women's title match, Asuka versus Ember Moon. I called this match in Toronto. I knew it was going to happen eventually. I thought that it would be at the Royal Rumble in San Antonio at that takeover, but, you know, it would have felt a little rushed. I see Ember Moon getting the win and Asuka finally losing the right way. Although, I will say the only thing that I'm kind of hesitant about my prediction here is because Asuka's been a babyface. I mean, basically, she's been like a badass babyface. And now, she's kind of transitioned and she's more heelish now than she was. I like it. I really do. I really like it. So I don't like the thought of her doing this new heel thing and then losing the title just to get called up. I think she needs to get called up. I would, you know, I guess she needs to go to Raw because the women's division is lacking on Raw compared to SmackDown. But Raw has the bigger names other than Mickie James and Becky Lynch, if we just want to be honest with you. Charlotte, Sasha, I mean, those two names, pretty big. And then Bayley is, right now, in my eyes, just big names. But I still see Ember Moon winning here. I think it's time for Asuka to hand over the belt. Maybe Asuka stays. Maybe she doesn't go right to the main roster just yet. Maybe they have a little feud. I would like to see it. Let's not rush Asuka. Let's not rush her out away. Because with Emma coming back, hopefully, pray to God that it happens soon. You know, she's going to be on Raw, so let's just hope that they do Asuka right. The NXT title match, Bobby Roode versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I don't see Shinsuke winning. I don't like the idea of him winning, to be honest with you. And because I really like, I want to see Bobby have a really good run here until maybe August, until the takeover in Los Angeles when they're there for SummerSlam, and then Bobby can jump to either Raw or SmackDown, whichever after that. Maybe he can jump to Raw and Austin Aries can get done with the 205 gimmick, and he can go and they can be the dirty heels again. I think that would be glorious. Maybe to be the glorious heels instead of the dirty heels. I think that would be great. But I see Bobby Roode retaining here in this match. So, because I see Shinsuke debuting Monday on Raw after Mania this weekend. So, that's what I have. Now, as far as episode 2 of Wrestling with Chaos, it's going to come very quickly. I will let everybody know. Follow me on Twitter at TheAnswerChaos. That is where you're going to get all of the latest and greatest news as far as what's going on in the world of chaos. Now, with that being said, that's all I've got. Thank you for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you. Love you all. I don't care who you are. Deuces for now, and Chaos once again is out.